Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast where we celebrate and discuss the film Raiders of the Lost Ark 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Jerry Porter.
And I'm Chris Eliopoulos.
Welcome back, Chris.
You couldn't keep me away.
We tried. We tried so
I know.
throwing rubber balls out the window and stuff. Nothing.
I don't take a hint.
Nah, that's all right. You know what? You're doing a nice job on the show. We'll keep you around.
Oh,
this is good.
Do I get candy afterward?
You get a fly.
Yeah, chocolate-covered fly. Better than Belloq got. But we are here to talk about minute 104 of Raiders of the Lost Ark. We're running out of movie. I'm getting anxious.
Yeah, I'm getting sad.
Yeah, I'm getting sad. That's a whole bunch of bells.
Should we just start over? Just start over.
Yeah. Remember Satipo?
Oh my God. Yeah. He was good. I wonder whatever happened. Minute 104 begins with Belloq inviting Indy to blow up the Ark, and it ends with Indy lowering his weapon.
All right, I just want to point out the fact. I'm wondering in there, I'm going to skip over a little bit and just say, why is he telling everybody to go to Zurich? I mean, I thought they came from Malta. Why do they want to go to Zurich?
It's lovely this time of year.
I mean, what's in Switzerland that they need? I mean, you know.
By the way, this is why you're a good guest. I, like Jer, not wanting to admit that he thought he said Malta, I didn't want to admit that I thought he said Zurich.
There you go.
Thank you.
Who says Zurich? I don't know what you guys. He says altar.
Well, what? Yeah, Pete, let us have it.
He says zurück, which means like get back.
That was anticlimactic.
Yeah, it's not very like Mr. Obvious.
It figures.
Well, hey, you know what do we think about at the very beginning of this minute? What do we think about Mr. Jumpy Nazi who hops in front of the Ark? I mean, is he like a budding archaeology major?
No, he's just a little too Johnny on the cadet following orders thing. He's also super literal. You know, he thinks that Belloq is telling Indiana Jones to blow up the Ark. He's got zero sense of sarcasm
maybe a Hebrew
or
studies
subterfuge.
minor?
Yeah,
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
You know, they all want to show off for the bosses.
Oh, by the way, we can talk about this a little bit last minute. Do you think Belloq was going to let him blow up the Ark?
No.
Well, what could he do?
Yeah, well, he's either going to get himself blown up or let him blow it up.
He didn't think it was a good idea, though.
Well, clearly, you know, Jumpy Nazi thought it was. I thought he was going to blow it up.
Well, yeah, he did, but he doesn't know Indy the way Belloq does.
He's a bad poker player.
Yeah. He's
Yeah, he's a bit. Well, you know what though? Had he not intervened, we wouldn't have this incredible, rousing speech.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My note here says, I would believe anything he tells me the way he talks to Indiana right here. And he calls him Indiana. We said this a couple minutes ago, but he calls him Indiana, which again, I'll admit this, I never knew that he said Indiana. I didn't know what he said there. It never occurred to me that he'd be calling Indiana Jones by his first name. And
he owns minute 104.
He does.
Belloq just owns minute 104, and I feel like hell, I'll even call him René.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you why he owns minute 104. He was touching the Ark.
Well, he was touching the cozy. He was touching the Ark cozy.
Was he? I thought he was kind of hovering his hands over it a bit.
He might be right, actually.
He's like leaning on it, and I think he was like sitting on the Ark.
He was licking it.
He was like, he had his legs crossed,
Hey, baby.
swinging him back and forth.
He was using it
like
as
my
a
Ark?
Bronco.
Renee, you have a big arc.
Yeah.
It's not the size of your arc; it's what you do with it.
How long can you ride that Ark?
I mean, that Belloq back to God speech is so compelling, and even his do as you will.
But when
I
he
believe,
says,
you know, I mean,
no, go ahead.
you just say it's like René knows Javitos and he knows his adversaries.
Yeah, he speaks Indiana.
Yeah.
But okay. Does he
He's a good
speak
bluffer,
Indiana?
man. He can bluff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he-
See, you know what? I don't even think he's bluffing. I don't.
well, he's calling Indy's bluff is really what he's doing.
He is.
Yeah, he's calling Indy's bluff, but I mean, he has a royal flush with
Yeah.
the speech.
Right. Well, even without the speech, he knows that Indy's not going to blow it up.
He's just like him, just a dark opposite.
Yeah.
So he knows how Indy thinks.
I mean, he's appealing here to Indy's love of history and stuff, and love of archaeology and of relics. But could he just as easily have said, Indy, do you have any idea how much this thing is worth?
That's
If
exactly
we got to
what he says.
Marrakesh, do you have any idea what we could sell this thing for?
Well, he literally says that because if he does it, he says, "Inside the ark are treasures beyond your wildest aspirations," and that's a
Right.
weird. He doesn't say beyond your wildest dreams, like something you would dream of happening. It's an aspiration is like something that you attain.
Yeah.
So I think he's literally saying like, you could own this.
Right.
Is he saying like join me? Is he like doing a Darth Vader? Like join me together, we'll conquer the universe?
It
Is
sounds
this
a
another?
little
Is
bit
this
like
another
that.
moment?
It feels like it.
And he is getting back to Indiana, when he says Indiana, and the look on his face, he's like, we had this conversation in the bar in Cairo where he's like, they're face to face, and he's kind of taunting him and being a jerk about like how there's shadowy reflections and stuff and everything. But this is like a super intimate, like even just second right here when he says Indiana. He's like, listen, buddy, guy. Like I understand. I know I'm a dick to you constantly, and I've tried to kill you a number of times. But listen, I'm talking to you now. It's me, René. Like there's something so familiar, and not just because he calls him Indiana, but just the way he says Indiana. It's like Indiana. We are simply passing through history.
He just goes into the most sublime oratory here too. Like we are simply passing through history. This is history. And that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the camera is straight on Indy for half of Belloq's speech.
Mm-hmm.
And, Indy capitulates because he's shooting his bazooka from an emotional place. I still think
yeah.
he it's like he brought a gun to a psychology fight.
Yeah.
I would argue that this is the moment that Indiana Jones becomes an archaeologist for real, not a grave robber. I think, he realizes and pauses and says, "Yeah, I'm with you. This is history, and this is what we're about, not about grave robbing."
Yeah. I'm hesitating because I'm like, wait, did he come there for the girl? Does he really care about the Ark as a historical? I mean, we get this whole entire show. We've been very hard on Indy as a archaeologist and as a professor of archaeology and as a historian. But I mean, one of the first conversations he has with anybody is about how the Ark of the Covenant is like what they got into archaeology for in the first place. And so I'm going to give it to him that he is having an emotional reaction about the Ark, about that he doesn't want to destroy the Ark.
I love that his most archaeological moment in this entire movie is not destroying an artifact.
You know what? I like
what
history
makes him
enough
an
to not
archaeologist.
destroy the Ark.
Well, yeah, I mean, we discussed this many times that, one of Belloq's big mistakes is that he indulges in these lengthy speeches before dispatching his adversaries, and they frequently get away. But here, the chapeau is on the other head. Belloq is about to get blown back to God, and he gives a speech, and it actually saves him, and Indy surrenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
He controls everybody this whole minute. He is in charge of even they got 30 guys with guns standing around, and he holds them back with one gun. Like Dietrich should have just popped him in the back of the skull and said, "We're done here."
Yeah.
You're gonna give up the Ark.
And that Dietrich's letting him threaten his soldiers. Like that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, Belloq's running rampant. There's no stopping it. And by the way, he looks particularly rakish when he's carrying that gun.
Oh yeah.
Just blow it up.
Hats at that jaunty angle.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish he wasn't a bad guy.
And he, I mean, when he just sort of violently cocks it, it just belies all Ralph Laurenitude. He's like, and he just, 180-degree circle.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care if it's a purple pinstripe.
What if we got this wrong? What if Belloq was the hero of this movie and we just happened to be following Indy around?
There's a case to be made.
That's where I'm going with next minute. I think Belloq is the hero of this movie.
Indy is just the jerk who keeps trying to screw everything up.
Yes, that's what all these little looks to Marion and Belloq gives. These little things like, "Come on, Indiana, what are you doing? Like, I'm about to kill all these Nazis. Why do you keep stopping me?"
He saves Marion from Indy and trouble.
Yeah. He cares a lot more deeply about Marion than Indy does.
And
Lelouch is the man.
Yeah, we've been saying the whole movie, we want to like him. We think he's cool. I'm going out and saying that maybe he is the good guy in this movie.
Wow.
Everybody's the hero of their own movie. Maybe we were just following the wrong hero.
Yeah. The Belloq movie.
Well, does Indy's curiosity get the best of him? Or, Chris, as you say, this is where he's, we see he's actually a real archaeologist. Or was he bluffing about Marion, or does he just realize that he'll never get off the island?
That's got to be a huge part of it. Is like I've lost no matter what I do. I could blow up the Ark, but I'll probably kill Marion. I'll be eaten by ghosts, and I won't get off the island. So
or is he? He's just like, you know what? I got to see the thing opened.
I think that's obviously what we're supposed to just take at face value. Like, yes, Indy is such a stalwart historian and professor of history that he could not live with himself to destroy such a thing, and he has to see inside and everything.
Well, it's like the Al Capone vault thing when we were kids.
Oh my God!
Like every one of us wanted to see wanted to see that show.
Yeah. Or it's like everyone who badly wanted to see the special edition of Close Encounters and see the inside of the spaceship.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
Disappointed both times.
I don't know why Geraldo Rivera was in the mothership. That didn't make any sense.
None at all. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of those moments where you just kind of go, "Is this what the movie's about? Is it about the Ark, or is it about Mary?" Like, is it almost like he's like, my kids are going to college, and when we talk about the fallback schools, is like Marion the fallback position? Like, it's like, I want the Ark, but I'll take Marion.
That's what it seems like for pretty much this entire movie. And you know what I'm thinking? Last Crusade, Jared, there's a movie 2 movies from now called Last Crusade, and it's got James Bond in it, and he plays Indy's dad. And I remember, I don't think I'm making this up. I think I remember Spielberg or somebody saying, like, yes, it's about the Holy Grail, but the Holy Grail is really his dad. Like, that's what kind of happens over the course of this movie. He realizes it's the search for the Grail, but it's also the search for his father. And you want that to be happening here. You want it to be, oh yeah, Indy's been so blinded by the Ark, and after the Ark, you know what? The whole time, Marion was the Ark. Marion was the one he was after this whole time. But that's not coming across at all.
No, I don't get that either.
No.
Not to the last frame of this movie does that seem even remotely possible.
And that's just because, well, I guess you're what's left. So.
Yeah, exactly. You're not dead.
I think. Right. Look. I'm gonna just for 4 seconds briefly defend him. I actually think in that last minute he did just want the girl, and I think he did just want Marion. And he I don't think he was just like, oh, I got nothing else. At least I'll. Throw this out there so she'll think I'm not such a jerk. You know what I mean? I think it was clumsy, and it was obviously horribly planned, but I don't think he was lying there. I don't think he really wanted Belloq kind of talked him out of it here.
Yeah.
She bought it too.
Yeah. I don't think he's wanting to kill Marion. I think he'd be happier to have her around.
He wasn't gonna kill Marion. What was gonna happen is he was gonna say, "Okay, let her go." She would have run up the little cliff, like the soldiers do, and then he'd be like, "All right, now, hang on. Now, what was I gonna do? Hang on. You know what I need? There's a car on this island, right?
Yeah,
right. There's a car on this island. Somebody bring me the car, and then I'm gonna take the car to a boat or something. I still got the bazooka.
No funny moves.
Yeah,
he really wanted to win the car, but he's willing to take the Lee press on nails. He just
Because he says you're not. Dietrich says, surely you don't think you're going to get off this island, and he says that depends.
Yeah.
Don't call me Shirley.
Yeah,
Really,
that depends. Stop calling me Shirley,
Yeah.
and if how willing you are to negotiate. I'm not saying it would have worked. I'm just saying, in that minute, I believed him.
Well, I kind of feel like, last minute he scrambles up he ditches the procession and scrambles into position with his bazooka, and he's probably thinking, all right, I'll threaten the Ark and I'll get Marion back, and maybe I'll even get the Ark. Like, I feel kind of bad for him. Like, he's at the end of his rope, and he came up with a stupid plan that was never going to work. Well, he's probably thinking like, hey, I just survived like a 3-day trip in the open water tied to a periscope. This is working
he's
out
suffering
for me.
Exposure and dehydration. And...
Yeah, we got to consider that too.
So he's losing
cool.
his mind here, huh? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
He's going to have a massive hallucination at the end of this movie too.
But he
It's
could have
crazy.
waited too, right? Couldn't he have just waited to see where they got to and hid in the back? Like why did he expose himself at this point? It just seems
You know
illogical.
what's interesting?
That's a great
I mean,
point.
if you think about it, look, they had the Ark on the Bantu Wind. I mean, they could have gone down to the cargo hold, and Indy could have just opened it.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been saying. Anybody could have opened it at any time.
But I mean, the Indy had it. He could have just gone down to the hold of the ship and been like, let's crack this thing open.
You know what? That brings up a great point, a great question. If, let's say Indy had just gotten it, that was on the Bantu Wind, they get back to, I'm sorry, Jerry, they had to go to England, and then they go to the United States, and they meet up with Porkins and everybody. Like, what would Indy, like, he's lightning firepower a god or something. He's not totally into all that hocus pocus. So would he just look inside and say, hey, I want to see the 10 Commandments. That'd be neat. I'm going to take a picture of it. Or would he be like, oh, I shouldn't mess with this. This is weird. Salah warned me.
No, he's not that. I think the irony here is that so far it's the one piece, the one archaeological piece that he is not, molested and fondled and destroyed.
Yeah.
I just think it's because he didn't have time, because he fell asleep the night before. Right. He was tired.
Yeah.
And then he woke up, and he was going to do it as soon as he woke up, but there were Nazis there.
Maybe.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
Or
it's
does
very
he,
weird.
in some weird way, does he need Belloq to open the Ark for him? Because he knows that Belloq's going to do it the hocus pocus way. And just in case that's the way you're supposed to do it, he can just sort of watch over Belloq's shoulder. In which case, Chris, you're right. Why didn't he just wait until they put on their whole, school pageant thing and look inside the Ark? He could have seen it that way, and then maybe would have had a better chance to recollect it and Marion.
And here's the thing. He doesn't believe in this mumbo jumbo in the beginning, right? So he doesn't believe. So why would he think at any point looking in the Ark would be anything other than finding something average? Like he wasn't expecting anything supernatural.
Right.
Up at this point, he hasn't seen anything that would indicate that it was supernatural. So why wouldn't he go take a look? Unless his job was just to get it and bring it home and let them figure it out.
Unless everything has been bluster up to this point. And he's like, oh, no, I don't believe this. But you go ahead and open it.
Right.
Yeah, that could be.
No,
Whistling
Pete, I
past
think
the
you're right.
graveyard.
I think he just fell asleep.
He was beat. That poor guy.
He fell asleep, but she woke up naked the next morning, so he had time for something.
Well, Katanga might have, too. I don't know.
Who?
Woken up naked? Katanga could have woken up naked?
Yeah.
Yikes. But so it's, I don't know. It doesn't seem like he really knew what he wanted to do in this last minute or two. Like, he didn't know if he wanted the Ark. He didn't know if he wanted to blow it up. He didn't know if he wanted to get Marion.
He's scrambling.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm making fun of him, but I do kind of get it.
He's shooting from an emotional place there.
Yeah. I mean, part of that emotion, too, is just like frenzy, just panic. Like,
yeah. And that's, in a way, he's I mean, it's why he's swayed by Belloq. I mean, he gets up there and he's like, give me the girl. And Belloq's like, Indiana. And he completely changes his decision.
Yeah.
He's talking down a suicide jumper.
Yeah.
There's also the chance that maybe his giving up right there is like, you know what, this plan was stupid, and I'm just going to bide my time for another chance to maybe get a better opportunity to pull this off.
I think it's amazing, like, in this minute that had a speech that all of us are going gaga over, and it's like we're all talking about this is one of the most emotional minutes in the movie, is in a movie with an incredible soundtrack. This minute had absolutely no music at all.
Yeah.
It's just silent.
These guys know how to use John Williams. I'm always impressed by Lucas and Spielberg knowing when not to have music from this guy. It's smart. I'm thinking about the speeder bike chase right now. There's no music in that scene, and it's awesome. Well, now that we've gotten on to Return of the Jedi, do we have anything else for this minute of Raiders?
Not for me, I'm good.
All right. Well, I say we pack it in, come back tomorrow, and finish off this excellent week with Chris.
Woohoo!
And Chris, where can people find you in the world or digitally or something?
Oh, God, I'm hiding. Go look in any Marvel comic. You'll probably see my name.
All right. My son is upstairs right now reading some Star Wars comic books. So he's probably perusing your work right now.
There you go.
I've had 2 people working on the super cool Star Wars comics that he's reading, and I keep saying, hey, do you want me to ask him anything? Do you have any questions? I'm talking to the people. He's like,
Who cares?
Oh, that'd be kind of overwhelming, I guess. I'll cut him some slack. I'm going to cut Indy some slack. I'm going to cut my own son some slack. I'm very
generous. So generous.
I know. I'm a good guy. Pete, I'm going to cut you some slack and let you tell people the same thing you tell them every single day.
Well, if you want to see my name, you can open up any IndianaJonesMinute.com website, and it'll be there.
Excellent.
Tom's and Jerry's will be there, as will Chris's.
Beautiful. So please do that. Please check out Chris's stuff, check out our stuff, and please check out minute 105 tomorrow, 105 of Raiders of the Lost Ark, here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Zurich!
Zurich!
Malta!
Robert Urich!